There's something big shaking Foxborough today. A slot speedster has become a hot market topic. A veteran target is wearing emotions on his sleeve on a reunion night. A giant in the heart of the line is racing the clock. And our rookie quarterback faces his first trial by fire under unforgiving lights. Want to understand how each piece can flip the season upside down? Who's catching the detail no one else sees? You won't believe what we've got today. So grab a seat, drop a like, and let's go straight to the news. No stalling now. Amid this chessboard, one name has echoed and kept rival GMs up late hunting for an immediate jolt. Slot burner Demario Pop Douglas. Easy now, there's no indication at this moment of active negotiations between the Patriots and another franchise. What exists is market heat, trade candidates lists, and that hum you always hear in the weeks before the deadline. Even so, simply seeing his name on those lists shakes the locker room, the fan base, and of course the offensive plan. And when a cheap asset starts getting buzz, everyone flips the switch. Where there's smoke, there may be strategy. Before we debate price, let's talk fit. Douglas is your classic slot with short area separation and direct impact on third downs. He thrives in systems that lean on option and choice routes, constant motion, and surgical spacing to carve quick windows. He offers jet and orbit utility and can add in the return game, a bonus that boosts marginal value. The contract makes it even more appealing. A rookie deal with cost control through 2026, barely denting the cap while delivering growing production. In bang-for-buck terms, that's exactly what contenders love. Plug in, learn a handful of language tweaks, and contribute now. Why has his name picked up steam? 3 vectors explain it. First, contract efficiency. Buyers love inexpensive impact when the Super Bowl window is open. Second, rotation adjustments. Across a season, slot usage ebbs and flows with game plans and opponents. Rivals sniff out any opening. Third, recurring demand. Near the deadline, teams struggling with interior passing hunt. Plug-and-play chain movers. Add in West Coast tree offenses and cousins that live on timing and spacing in the short to intermediate area. Within those philosophies, Douglas slides in like he's known the playbook for years. Aligns in bunch, uses motion to isolate a defender, attacks shallow zones, becomes an extension of the run game, and sustains drives. Possible destinations. No first-tier insider has pinned a specific team, so we're in plausible scenario territory. Schemes that prioritize pre-snap ID, rhythm, and horizontal distribution. Teams that value special teams. Coordinators who make motion part of their DNA. In all of them, the tactical fit is obvious, and the learning curve is short. That's why a front office phone rings to ask for price, even with no leaks. What about the price? Recent markets for WR2, WR3 types with solid production have hovered around day 3 capital, 4th or 5th round picks, often with playtime or target conditionals. For New England, a break-even only appears when that bundle offsets his efficient deal and 2 more years of club control. In practical terms, you'd need an above-the-curve proposal, say a solid 4 plus a conditional that lifts the floor, or something even bolder to move this out of monitor and into motion. So why trade at all? Here's where it heats up. Football plan. Keeping a reliable short intermediate target is strategic for the offense's growth and especially for a young quarterback. Opportunity cost. Shipping off a cheap productive asset only makes sense for a return that projects real draft impact. Competitive posture. If the team is in the hunt, the tendency is to hold on to passing game support pieces. And there's the unpriceable intangible. Chemistry, timing, trust. Remove that and your rookie loses the safety valve that shortens reads and speeds up the trigger. The fan base, naturally, is split. One side sees a chance to cash in at a value peak and replace via the draft. The other insists that without a steady chain mover, the offensive architecture loses rhythm, particularly on third and short. Which wins? It depends on results, league-wide injuries, and other teams' moves as the deadline nears. If an aggressive offer shows up, the table listens. If not, the status remains. Rating monitor, with no validation of active talks. And here's the domino in the playbook. With Douglas, the coordinator preserves motion and stack packages that make life easier for the rookie, create mismatches against slower nickels, and widen the confidence window on the first read. Without him, progressions get longer. Separation must be manufactured elsewhere, and the margin for error tightens. Where does this go? The clock ticks toward early November. Every snap reprices the asset, and any win streak strengthens the case to keep the core. For now, the word is patience. And that wasn't even the most surprising part of the day. There are games that twist the standings and the memory. A wideout who became a symbol in Buffalo returns to the old stage, now with New England's badge on his chest, under primetime lights, and a Highmark stadium ready to judge every target on the spot. Stefon Diggs carries questions only the flight of the ball can answer. How much of the pre-injury burst is still there after the 2024 ACL rupture? How much is just adapting to a new playbook and a rookie quarterback? And how much is pure emotion reignited by a reunion with a crowd that knows him better than most? The numbers so far are modest. 19 catches for 13 yards and no touchdowns. That's light for someone who built a reputation for ripping games open, yet far from a verdict. Veterans of this caliber accelerate when the QB chemistry clicks and the coordinator finds the winning sequence of calls. In Foxborough, the role trend's surgical. Move the chains, stabilize tempo, and punish lapses in the intermediate. The gravity he imposes on a defense already changes the shape of the snap, even without eye-popping stats. Across the sideline, no one pretends to be neutral. Ed Oliver says the competitor will be lit. Tre'Davious White admits there will be a little extra in the air, and that it'll be on the Bills collective to match that energy. Josh Allen downplays the drama, but acknowledges that emotions can spike when memories meet the bleachers again. That contrast brews the perfect storm, a front that wants to stamp its territory, a secondary that knows the old teammates' habits, and a receiver intent on reminding everyone he still dictates terms in the short and intermediate. How do you convert narrative into advantage? Step 1 is killing predictability. Diggs thrives when he aligns from reduced splits, uses late motion to diagnose the coverage, and executes patient then explosive releases against press. Stacks and bunches with him at the point open slants, unders and outs that become extensions of the run game on second and medium. If the safety shades his way out of respect for the resume, a void emerges opposite for intermediate digs and glance routes behind the linebacker. When the defense squeezes the short area, the shot appears, a double move sold at medium speed, light play action to freeze the safeties, and a 22 to 28-yard ball that redraws the field. It doesn't have to be a 50-yard bomb, it has to be precise enough to force respect. The Bills have counters. Post-snap trap looks to steal the rookie's first window, creepers that manufacture four-man pressure, late handoffs of responsibility between nickel and safety, and a physical corner at the line to mess with timing. The goal will be to delay the Diggs QB sink by half a beat. The Patriots' answer runs through faithful landmarks, shoulder and eye details that sell stories, and discipline to hit the exact spot. And the emotion, it matters, and can tilt your way. A player returning to his old home usually gains a focus bonus. If New England channels that fire into execution, separation shows up, and yards after catch turn a 5-yard pass into a 15-yard dagger. What's missing is the sequence that becomes habit. 2 early conversions, a penalty drawn on a well-sold comeback, a play action where the corner bites hard. From there, the defense decides whether to respect Diggs and open space for the rest of the concept, or live with the risk of being punished. Pats fans are split, loud and demanding. One camp wonders if that Diggs still exists. The other understands the role has shifted. Less volume heroics, more efficiency and leadership to guide the young room. The meeting point is simple. Everyone wants a spark tonight. One perfect route, one contested ball at the edge, and a variant paralyzing underlying expectations. Also worth remembering, a return isn't a reenact. In New England, the priority is building functional chemistry with the quarterback. A night with 5 converted first downs can be worth more than a single highlight. This game won't end the story, but it can rewrite chapters. Diggs erupts on his return, the Patriots gain a clearer offensive identity for big games. If the night is quiet, value remains. Tweak splits, speed up chemistry, and figure out which calls reduce friction. It's a checkpoint, not a sentence. And honestly, even with all that emotion, that wasn't the most unbelievable part of the day. What's next promises to twist fans' minds even more. Amid the Sunday night buzz, one detail on the practice field stole the spotlight. Milton Williams returned to activity. The defensive tackle, absent from the first 2 sessions this week because of an ankle injury, showed up for the 3rd practice and reignited hope of seeing New England's defensive line at full strength against the Buffalo Bills. There's no guarantee he'll suit up, but just being out there in a helmet changes the mood, because Williams isn't just another guy, he's a pillar. Signed this offseason for 4 years and $104 million. The former Louisiana Tech standout quickly became a foundational piece inside. In just 4 games, he's logged 9 tackles, 2 sacks, and 2 run-stuff plays. More than numbers, he brought identity. The front stopped reacting and started attacking, generating early down pressure, shrinking reads, and forcing quarterbacks into mistakes. Alongside Christian Barmore, he's helped lift the Patriots' pressure rate to 35.5%, 13th in the league. A significant jump from last year, when the interior lacked punch. If he can't go, the natural replacement is Corey Durden. He's competent and hard-working, but without the same footprint. 5 tackles and 1.5 run-stuff plays in 4 games. The difference is dominance. Williams commands doubles on many snaps, freeing linebackers to shoot gaps and letting the edge rush cut loose. Without him, the defensive board gets less versatile and more predictable. And against a rhythm-based opponent like the Bills, every extra second given to Josh Allen can cost an entire drive. Williams himself doesn't sound like he's tapping out. In a media hit, he sounded like a man ready to go. "These are the games I live to play under the lights. Prime time with everybody watching. It's a division opponent, it's going to be a good one. That mindset matters. Players at this level push their bodies to respond, even without 100% confidence in the ankle. The coaching staff in turn has to balance ambition and prudence. Putting him out there undercooked could jeopardize not just this game, but the broader arc of the season. The fans feel this dilemma. On forums, some plead for caution. It's only week 5, don't risk the biggest contract of the offseason. Others demand the gamble. If you want to be great, you face the greats with your best. It's the classic split, but it shows how quickly Williams' impact has been recognized. Just months into New England, he's already a we can't lose him player. Practically, the decision will be strategic. If Williams plays, the Patriots keep the aggressive rotation, lean into disguised pressures, and force Allen to anticipate under heat. If he sits, the defense loses depth, gets more vulnerable against the run, and may need a safety closer to the line, opening seams deep for Diggs and company. It's top-tier chess. One piece changes the entire board. In the end, fans will probably wait until the last minute. The final injury report drops right before the game, but Friday's practice was a real sign of hope. And as Williams said, "It's the kind of game I live to play." When a player talks like that, it's hard to picture him out. If he does suit up, one thing is certain, the impact will be immediate, because with him healthy, New England's defensive line looks like a top 10 unit. And while the fan base holds its breath over that question, an even bigger test is coming to measure this team's heart. Across the ball, the challenge is brutal. New England faces the AFC's lone unbeaten, and the underdog label is absolute. A 2-2 start is honest, but it doesn't hide that the next test is one of those that expose strengths and weaknesses with no anesthesia. Up front stands rookie quarterback Drake May, facing his first major exam in hostile territory. May was direct. This game is a thermometer. It's about measuring how well the team can compete for 4 quarters in a place where the stands don't forgive. His tone shows maturity. It's not the end of the world if we lose, but it's our chance to understand who we are. That reframes everything. Less about chasing a win at all costs, and more about treating the moment as a reference point for growth. For a rebuilding team, that can be as valuable as stealing points. The environment won't help. Those Mafia turns Highmark Stadium into a cauldron, deafening noise. Mental pressure, a playoff feel in October. For a rookie, every snap is experience. If he keeps his mechanics disciplined, manages his internal clock, and hits crisp throws on 3rd and short, the team gains more than the box score shows. Confidence is cumulative. One good drive tonight becomes the foundation for January down the road. The narrative tilts the other way. The Bills look unstoppable, controlling both sides of the ball, but that's exactly where the opportunity lives. Nobody expects New England to win. That frees the staff to take risks, dial up trick plays, deploy exotic motions, attack blitz seams on unexpected downs. It's the kind of game where you can surprise because all the pressure sits on the other sideline. If it clicks, morale skyrockets. If it doesn't, the lessons still stick. Inside the locker room, the energy is about a collective challenge. Players talk about traveling together, generating our own juice, not getting rattled by the environment. That detail is crucial. There won't be a majority of Pats fans, but each positive snap becomes internal fuel. This is the sort of test that builds callous learn to suffer, bounce back, and find strength in the late 4th quarter burn. It's in this kind of cauldron that real teams are forged. Fans are already debating, do you need the win to show growth, or is trading blows enough? Some demand an immediate result. Others understand progress is measured in execution as much as the scoreboard. The consensus, though, is clear. Everyone wants identity. A team that fights to the last snap, shows grit and smarts, and points to a solid future. And if the Patriots steal it, the season's narrative flips from rebuilding underdog to a thorn in any contender's side. May shifts from promise to sensation. The locker room gains conviction, and every opponent takes note. A win isn't mandatory, but it would be a redefinition. That's why this matchup is so fascinating. It's not just another week, it's seeing yourself in the mirror against the best. Win, lose, or draw, New England will leave Buffalo with answers that shape the rest of the season. And don't think the fan base won't hold the bar high. Once you prove you can stand up to giants, nobody accepts less the following week. And get ready, because the Patriots season could turn upside down after this Sunday. Deep breath, Patriots Nation. Today we saw how a rumor can move the board with Pop Douglas, how a veteran's return to Buffalo inflames emotion and adjustments, how Milton Williams' presence redefines the interior, and how Drake May embraces his first trial by fire without flinching. The season isn't written. Every snap resets expectations and accelerates identity building. And do you believe tonight in Buffalo flips the switch? Drop your thoughts below, tag a friend, smash the like button, and subscribe to follow every step. We'll be back tomorrow with fresh breakdowns and reactions.